Your bank is stealing from you in slow motion and you're literally paying them for the privilege. They're taking your money, lending it out at 5, 6, 7% interest, and paying you basically zero. And the crazy part, you can actually get paid what you deserve right now, today. Most people just don't know it exists. Hey, before we dive in, I gotta be clear about something. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything you're about to hear is purely educational content. You've got money sitting in a savings account, maybe $5,000, maybe 20,000. It's your emergency fund, your rainy day money, money you need to keep safe and liquid. Your big bank is paying you 0.01% interest. That's basically nothing. On $10,000, you make $1 a year. $1. Your money is losing value to inflation while the bank makes money off it. This is the standard banking system and almost everyone accepts it as normal. But it's not normal. It's a con. And there's a completely different system operating in parallel that most people never even hear about. High yield savings accounts. These are accounts offered by smaller banks, online banks, and credit unions that actually pay you real interest. Not 1%, not 2%, sometimes 5, 6, even 7%, depending on what you pick. On that same $10,000, you're now making $500 to $700 a year just for keeping your money there. That's actual money. That's wealth building without any risk. So why doesn't everyone use these? Because banks don't want you to know about them. Let's talk about why this even happens in the first place. Big banks are massive institutions with massive overhead. They have physical branches everywhere. They have employees, buildings, advertising budgets. They're spending billions just to maintain their infrastructure. So they need volume. They need deposits. They attract deposits by offering convenience, brand recognition, and safety. But they don't pay much for those deposits because they don't have to. You're already there. You're already banking with them. You're not leaving just because the interest rate is terrible because switching banks feels annoying. Smaller banks don't have that luxury. They don't have branches everywhere. They don't have brand recognition. So they can't compete on convenience. They have to compete on price. They offer higher interest rates because that's literally their only advantage. Come here because we actually pay you for your money. And here's the thing that blows people's minds. These smaller banks are often safer than the big banks. They're FDIC insured just like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Your money is protected up to $250,000. So you get the same protection but way better interest rates. It's not a trade-off. It's just better. Let's talk about how much money we're actually talking about. You've got $30,000 in emergency savings. Big bank paying 0.01%. That's $3 a year. Over 10 years, that's $30 total while inflation erodes your money's actual value. Same $30,000 in a high yield account paying 5%. That's $1,500 a year. Over 10 years, that's $15,000 plus compound interest. That's not a small difference. That's a difference between money sitting there losing value and money actually working for you. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all high yield accounts are created equal. Some banks are offering 5, 6, 7% right now. But that's because interest rates are elevated. When the Fed cuts rates, these banks will cut their rates too. Maybe to 3%, maybe to 2%. So the real question is, which banks are sustainable to use long term and which ones are just taking advantage of current market conditions? You need to look at the bank's fundamentals. How long have they been offering competitive rates? What's their business model? Are they stable? Most online banks like Ally, Marcus, Discover, these have been offering competitive rates for years. They've built their entire business model around it. They'll keep offering good rates even if they come down a bit. Some smaller banks that just started offering high yields, they might be chasing deposits in a desperate way. When rates drop, they'll drop rates even faster to protect their profit margins. So you want to go with established online banks that have a track record of competitive rates even during lower rate environments. Here's what you actually need to do. First, figure out how much money you want to move. You probably want to keep some money in your regular bank for everyday transactions. But your emergency fund, your savings, your money that's just sitting there, that should move to a high yield account. Second, open an account at one of the major online banks. The process takes maybe 20 minutes. You can do it on your phone. You need your ID and your social security number. That's it. Third, transfer your money over. Set up a sweep account if you want, so any extra money automatically goes to the high yield account. Fourth, forget about it. Just let it sit there earning interest. Don't touch it except for actual emergencies. This is the most boring investment strategy possible, which means it actually works. You're not timing the market. You're not picking stocks. You're not taking risk. You're just letting your money earn what it's supposed to earn while staying completely safe. The beauty of this strategy is that it works at every income level. Whether you have $5,000 or $500,000, High yield savings accounts are better than regular savings accounts, period. And the best part, you're using the system against itself. You're putting your money in a place where it's actually competing for deposits. The bank has to pay you to keep your money there. You're forcing them to offer real rates. If you want to understand how to make your money actually work for you without taking unnecessary risk, hit subscribe. Because this is the foundation. This is where real wealth building starts. Not with flashy investments, with boring, steady interest accumulation.